Alright, this is all the tools that I think you really need to get started into beekeeping. Welcome to the Honey Hobbits YouTube channel. I'm Dave. I'm going to let you see my face today. So today I wanted to give you a little bit of an overview of the tools that I use, and this is mainly geared towards the beginning beekeeper. So I have a pretty modest selection of tools that I use, and most of them are very affordable. I try to keep everything that I have and that I use in the apiary very inexpensive. So this will be my overview on tools that I think you need. So anyway, hope you enjoy, and let's get right into it. Alright, as you can see, this is a pretty modest toolkit. These are the bare essentials, and I think the starting most important tool of the beekeeper would be the smoker. And a lot of folks will tell you that you really shouldn't skimp on the smoker, and well, I did. This is I think it's a $20 smoker on Amazon. And it, this metal is a little bit on the flimsy side compared to maybe a $40 smoker, but it gets the job done. The only part that I really have had an issue with is this hinge right here. Sometimes this will actually bend up a little bit and that'll pop out. But so far it hasn't really been that big of a deal. The bellows works just fine. So that works great. You'll need some kind of a fuel. Really doesn't matter that much what you have. I use burlap just because I have it laying around. So I'll put some cardboard and some paper to light down there. Once that's going, I'll drop this on top of that. And this smolders really well. And then I'll put some kind of damp pine needles on top of that to keep the smoke cool. Next up, I think of the most important things that you're going to need is some kind of a prying tool, hive tool, scraping tool. This is the end of a barbecue tongs. There was two of these. There would be a big loop at the bottom. So I took this out and I kind of sharpened up this end a little bit to give me a small prying and scraping surface, and then same on this side. And put this in, open your frames up, and it works great. It's free, so it really doesn't have to be a real nice fancy hive tool. I'll probably get a nice fancy one someday, but I just happen to have these laying around, so I used them and I just haven't bothered getting a better hive tool. This is just a skinny knife piece of metal that I got, and I use this for cutting cells out of comb, queen cells out of comb. So it's good to have some kind of a knife to cut queen cells. Next on the list of importance, I would say, is this Beekeeping Records. Some kind of a notepad, clipboard, whatever you got will work fine. This is what I use. I'm going to plug Write in the Rain. I really like these because you can write. If it's raining, you can write, and these pages, if they get all wet and they don't get all crinkly or anything like that. So I'll put the date and just kind of notes about what I did that day to help me remember today, next day, a week later. And then on the back side, I keep kind of specific pieces of information in kind of a table format. So I have the hive name, what date it was. I keep track of their temper, how kind or mean they are. I just use a 1 to 3 scale. So a 1 means they were really nice. 3 would mean that they're really mean. You can see down here I put a 2, and I found out later that hive had gone queenless, and that's why they were a little more testy. I keep track of the jelly, the royal jelly that's down inside of the cells for the larvae. I want to know that there's a lot of jelly down in there. That'll keep your hives healthy if you make sure that they've got good jelly. I keep a mite count in here, and I keep total frames of brood. This is cap brood. So like here I had 3 deep frames of cap brood in that hive, and so on and so forth, so I can track strength or coming strength. How strong is that hive going to be when all of that brood hatches? So that's just what I do, but I would really recommend you keep some kind of records on your hives. Next up on the list, I have this Queen Introduction push-in cage. This is just 1/8 inch hardware cloth. I got this on a big old roll on Amazon, and I make these up. I got this idea from Michael Palmer on his videos, and I use these all the time, both queen introductions and also if I'm combining hives. These are great. You just put the queen underneath there. She can be under there laying for 3 days, and while you're combining a hive, and those are great, real easy to make. Just get some pliers and kind of bend up the edges. And then the last item I have here is a mite washing container. I just have some cloth on, or some hardware cloth on the top of that, and this is rubbing alcohol inside there. You put a half a cup of bees down inside there and shake them around real good, and then dump the alcohol out, and that'll give you a mite count. So that's really important for our day and age. And those are the main tools that I would recommend every beekeeper have. And last on the list, but certainly very important, is protection. I don't use gloves, I don't wear a veil. That's just my stock of bees. I can do that. I do wear this hat because I have dark hair, and the bees will get in there and they just don't like dark hair. And I also wear a pair of safety glasses. That keeps the bees out of my eyes and keeps them from stinging me. I really don't want to get stung in the eyes, so this is essentially all I wear. I'm wearing flip-flops right now. I do have a veil, and I would recommend that you have a veil in case you need it. I rarely use this, but if I do have a hive that's getting testy and they're swarming my head, I'll put the veil on, and this is just a real simple veil. So, but that all comes down to your comfort level and your preference. If you're allergic to bees, then by all means get a full suit. This is just me. I'm not allergic to bees. I get stung, and it really doesn't affect me very much. I don't swell up anymore. I barely swelled up when I first started. So anyway, hope this video has been helpful, and we'll catch you next time.